Welcome, everyone. We are so glad you're going to join us this evening for our first cooking class called Hope and Pasta-Bility. I know many of you have run the Hope and Pasta-Bility race. This is Hope and Pasta-Bility because we're making pasta to fuel our bodies and start getting pumped and ready for the upcoming race season. And as many of you have been on our journey with us for this Achilles Whole Person Health Challenge, this month we are focusing on strength and energy. And we need food for our bodies, to fuel our bodies, so we can have ultimate strength and energy to do anything we want, from our schoolwork to training for a race, just being present, being happy. We need food. And this is so exciting that we can come together on a Friday night and cook a great meal with a really incredible special guest culinary instructor and nutritionist. She is a lifelong foodie who is passionate about making meal preparation fun, creating foods that are both healthy and delicious. She's a current graduate student at New York University pursuing her master's science in nutrition and dietetics, and is on track to become a registered dietitian. She is also a culinary instructor for Citrition LLC, where she teaches children's cooking classes. Please welcome our new friend, Liz Manzo. Liz, welcome today. Tell us what we're doing. We're so excited.
I'm so excited to meet you all. I'm so happy. There's so many people on here.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Liz. I'm Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte. How's it going? Are you excited for today?
Liz Manzo. I'm a huge
Love
fan.
Ziti.
Hi.
They call me Hawkeye.
I love Ziti pasta.
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
So
Janet.
I'm very excited. So, Sheridan already has some pasta there. Okay, so Sheridan has a little sneak peek. So today, we're gonna make a few different recipes. We're gonna start off by making some baked ziti, and then we're gonna make two other shorter ones that are gonna be really fun. But let's first start by preheating our ovens to 350. And then if we also start boiling some water on the stovetop. So I'm gonna go ahead and, Karen, maybe if you could just put in the chat, preheat oven to 350.
Sure.
And a pot of water to start boiling. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm just turning my stove on over here so the water starts to boil. And then I'm gonna make sure nothing's in my oven, okay? And then I'm gonna hit bake, and I'm gonna turn it to 350. Perfect. So I have two cameras that you can see. So up here is my face, over here. And then over here, you can see my face peeking through. This is my workstation, so you guys can follow along and make sure that you're on track. So if you have any questions, feel free to either raise your hand, and if I don't see you, Karen or Janet or Jenna will give me a shout out, and I will make sure to answer any questions. So during the cooking, I think maybe if you have like an immediate question, you need to know what ingredient we're working on, go ahead and raise your hand. But if you have any other questions or just want to chat, we can do that at the end. There will be plenty of time for that when we're tasting the pasta together. So if everyone can just stay on mute, that would be perfect, just so we get through the recipes, we don't fall behind. This is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited about it. So, okay. I'm going to ask you guys throughout the class, give me like a thumbs up if we're on the same page, or if you need a few more minutes, give me like, I need a few more minutes. That way okay, good. I see some thumbs up. I like this. Thank you, everybody, for giving me the thumbs up. Nice. Okay, what do you think? Should we get started? Woo! Okay, let's do it. Perfect. So I have my oven is preheating, and I have my water is starting to boil. So the fun thing about baked ziti is that we're actually gonna cook the pasta first, and then we're gonna put everything in a big casserole pan and put it in the oven, and it's gonna bake in there with all these delicious ingredients, and it's gonna be so yummy when it comes out. So the first step that we're gonna do, and I'm excited to see what you guys have, is we're gonna prep our vegetables. So the vegetable that I chose is some broccoli. So this is a frozen broccoli that I defrosted, and I'm gonna cut it up. So if you guys wanna hold to your screen any veggies that you're using. Oh, this looks nice. I think Kieran, you might have some broccoli, some mushrooms. Nice. I see some eggplant, some zucchini.
That's spinach, mushrooms.
I love that.
spinach, yum. Kieran's got little cherry tomatoes too. Amazing. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna grab our veggies, and these, because this broccoli was already frozen, it was already rinsed off. But if you have some fresh vegetables that maybe need a quick rinse underneath some water, go ahead and rinse them off in like a colander. And then once we're ready, we're gonna go ahead and start cutting up our veggies into smaller pieces. So I like to do this for these dishes because when we put this together with the pasta and then we bake it in the oven, kind of like what Sheridan has on her plate, it's easier if it's all in small bite size, exactly. It's like smaller bite size pieces so that we can just scoop it up with a fork. We don't have to cut it when it comes out of the pan. So I'm gonna put my broccoli on my cutting board. So you guys can go ahead and grab your cutting boards. And I have a big knife, and I'm just gonna be really careful when I'm cutting this broccoli. I'm gonna just throw out this water, just to make sure that I don't cut my fingers or anything like that. So it's always nice to have somebody else in the kitchen nearby, just in case something happens or you need some help with something. So I'm gonna start cutting my broccoli into smaller pieces. And if you have some spinach, you can go ahead and take that out and put it in a big bowl. And for this, we're gonna use about 2 cups of any vegetables that you'd like. So the great thing about cooking is that it's not an exact science. So if you love a certain vegetable or you don't really like one, but you want to try it in this recipe, you can add a little bit less or you can add a little bit more. It's totally up to you. And I also like this recipe because next time you make this, you can use the pasta base, but then you can go ahead and throw in different ingredients that you like. So you could put other vegetables, you could try a different type of vegetable, or you could even put maybe like, if you have a favorite protein, like if you have chicken or something like that, or even like maybe shrimp or steak, anything like that, you can go ahead and put that in there. I would just make sure that it's cooked beforehand. Nice. I'm just going to take a peek and see how everybody's doing. This looks awesome. Great. Thank you, Amelia, for the thumbs up. Okay. So then what we're going to do with these vegetables before we put them into the pasta dish is we're going to cook them a little bit. And when we cook them a little bit before we put them into the pasta, oh, that's my oven, it's preheated. When we cook them a little bit before we put them in the pasta and we put them in the oven, they get nice and tender so that when it's time for us to eat them, they still have a little bit of crunch from all that good fiber that's in there, but they're a little bit softer to eat. So we don't need to use like a knife or anything like that, and it's easier for us to eat. Yeah. So I am still just working on chopping up my broccoli. Perfect. Does anybody want to shout out some other vegetables that they're using or some ingredients they want to try next time that maybe they don't have today? Go ahead, Sheridan. Thank you for raising your hand.
Which in the future recipe Kelly worked up was like a shrimp like base dish with peppers, fish sauce, and oyster. And what was the other one? Soy sauce.
Soy sauce?
Shrimp.
I love that. Almost like a fried rice, but with pasta.
Yeah, but with pasta.
I love that idea. I think that's a really good idea.
I feel too.
Anyone else want to shout anything else? Hawkeye, do you want to go ahead?
Oh, I don't know about you guys, but not only am I going to use broccoli like you're using, by the way, I'm a huge fan of your cooking and everything. So also, I'm going to use, I might also use sweet Italian sausage with the casing cut off. It's better that way because, honestly, let's be fair, I like sausage without the casing on it.
I agree with that, Hawkeye. And when you cut the casing off of the sausage, it'll get nice and crumbly, right? So like everybody can have a little bit of sausage.
Exactly.
Love that. Christine, did you want to say something?
What are you using? Spinach and zucchini. Yeah.
Spinach and zucchini?
Yeah.
I love that. I think I saw somebody else had zucchini too.
And me too.
So,
Me too.
like a little sweet almost.
I put 2 cups in.
Kieran, go ahead.
I've got garlic and parsley.
Ooh, Kieran, my favorite thing in the whole world is garlic, especially
Whoa.
when it's combined with pasta, right? So
Well, if I get good at this, then at camp I could teach my bunkmates how to do this.
wouldn't that be amazing? I love that idea, Kieran. And you know what's fun? Once you teach somebody one of the recipes, every time they make it, it can be different. And you guys can make it together. It's going to be so fun. You're definitely going to be really good at making this recipe. Nice. Okay, I'm almost done chopping my veggies. How's everybody doing with the veggie chopping? Almost done? Perfect.
I actually practice using knives in my previous cooking class. They say make a bale claw with your fingers and then cut one way.
I love that idea. Did everyone hear what Sharon did? I'll try to demonstrate.
I'll show you. Can I show them?
Absolutely, please go ahead.
Okay. What I need is buy a bale claw. Hold on, let me set this up so you guys can see it. Okay. Is this one hand and then holding the vegetable down and then cut it.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And Sheridan, what does that help prevent?
From getting hurt or from getting cut.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing that, Sheridan. That's very important. Yes. Okay. So we're going to head over to the stovetop in just a minute. How is your water doing? Is it almost boiling or not yet? Boiling? Okay. Some people maybe need a few more minutes. Some people it's ready. Okay, so I'm gonna put my pasta in. It's okay if yours doesn't go in right now. It can go in a few minutes, but just that way I can make sure that mine's done so I can show you guys. So I have my pasta pot, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in a pound of pasta. And this should be good for about like 4 or 5 people, and you might have some leftovers too, which you could always have for dinner or for lunch another day. So I'm gonna take the whole pound of pasta, and I'm gonna put it in my pot of water. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna move this camera over to the stovetop so you guys can see. So let me know if you can't see. How's that? Can everybody see? Perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I am first gonna move this over here so it doesn't get in our way. Okay, so I'm gonna take a saute pan and I am going to put it on a medium to low heat. So this is the saute pan that I'm gonna use. And we're basically just gonna use this to heat up our vegetables a little bit so that they get a little bit more tender in there. Perfect. Okay, great. So I'm gonna put my flame on a medium to low heat. So not really high. They don't need to be super cooked, just like a little bit. Perfect. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some olive oil and we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of olive oil and we're gonna put it in the pan. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there. And Karen, maybe you could write in the chat 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
You got it.
Thank you. Everybody good so far? Perfect. Awesome. Okay. And then I'm going to take my vegetables that I chopped up. So I have, right now I just have my broccoli. So if you have.
I like broccoli.
You like broccoli? Good. I like broccoli too.
Ziti, and I love mushrooms.
Yeah. So if you have 2 or 3 different types, you can go ahead and put them all in. Ooh, and you get like a nice sizzle when you throw them in the pan. Okay. So now they're in the pan. They're on a medium-low heat. And I'm just going to take, I have this like little rubber spatula that I'm going to use to mush them around in there to make sure that they all get cooked. So I'm just going to use my spatula and I'm going to stir them around, make sure that all of these pieces get coated in that olive oil. It's going to make it really nice and delicious when we put it in our big Ziti dish. So I'm going to let that.
Ooh, yum.
Say it again, Charlotte.
That looks yummy.
Yummy. It smells pretty yummy too, actually. All right, so I'm gonna give it a few minutes to cook in here. And I'm just gonna give my pasta a little stir also while it's in there. And if you haven't put your pasta in yet, if your water is boiling, go ahead and put it in. And the pasta will take about 10 minutes. So it's 5:49 right now. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. Okay, so while the broccoli is cooking on the stove over there, what we can do is take a little bit, we can get our casserole pan prepped. So I'm gonna move my camera back for a minute. I'm just gonna move my cutting board out of the way. And I'm gonna move you guys back over here so you can see what I'm working on. Okay, so for this baked pasta dish, we're gonna use a casserole pan. Does everybody have a casserole pan? Yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna show you what mine looks like, just so you guys know. So I have this pan that's a few inches thick and it's maybe like 12 inches by like, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or something like that. So it just basically needs to be big enough so that it can hold all the pasta and the veggies and everything that we're putting in. So I have my casserole pan. I have nothing in it right now. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tomato sauce and we're gonna coat the bottom just with a tiny thin layer of tomato sauce. And does anyone want to take a guess as to what that's gonna help do for our pasta?
I think so.
Go ahead, Hawkeye, what do you think?
Well, if I remember correctly, with the sauce that you're using, yes, I'm big on Italian dishes, so I know what's going on here. So with Italian dishes like this, you need to use the sauce to like make it all saucy for the pasta dishes.
Exactly. So we're gonna make it all saucy for these dishes. And then also what it's gonna help do is when we put the pasta in there, it's gonna help to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Sometimes, you know, when you put like pasta in something and it sticks, this will help make sure it doesn't stick. So I am using, I'll show you guys, I'm using Rayo's marinara sauce. You can use any sauce you like. If you like vodka sauce, you could use vodka sauce. Oh, Jenna's got the same one. Janet has a marinara sauce. Same with Ellie. I think she's got like a tomato sauce. Nice. Perfect. Yeah, Christine, I think, has Rayo's too. Nice. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of our sauce and we're gonna put a really thin layer on the bottom. So I'm just using a spoon to help me. So I'm gonna pour a little bit in and then I'm gonna use the back of my spoon to kind of smooth it out in here. And this is a pretty big pan, so I'm probably gonna need a little bit more sauce in this. And like Hawkeye said, when we put the pasta and we put like all the other ingredients, like he's gonna put the sausage in there and the vegetables and the pasta, it's gonna melt all together when we put it in the oven and it's gonna be delicious. Okay, so now I have a nice coat. It doesn't need to be too much, just like a little bit. Just a thin layer on there. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna leave this here because we're gonna come back to it in a few minutes. So I am just gonna put my spoon over here and I'll put my sauce over here for now. I'll move my cheeses. Okay, everybody ready for the next step? Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Kieran, do you have your hand raised? Did I miss you?
We finished putting the stuff in. Is that it?
Perfect.
We finished putting the vegetables, so we're ready to move on now?
Yes, exactly, Kieran. So then what we're gonna do is, if you have your vegetables in the pan like Kieran and they're ready and they're cooked, we're gonna put our flame on a very low heat. So the lowest heat possible, what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna take the rest of our, too low. Then we're gonna take the rest of our tomato sauce that's in the jar and we're gonna dump it into that saucepan. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump this in here. Awesome, just like that. And I'm gonna show you guys a little trick that I like to do. see when you pour out the tomato sauce and there's still like a lot of good sauce left in here, if you put a little bit of water in it, so I'm going to put a little bit of water in it, and then put the lid back on it and give it a really good shake. Then it gets all of that delicious sauce. Yeah, see, right? Give me a thumbs up if you like that trick. Nice. And then I'm going to pour it into my pan. And see, now the jar is completely empty. And so you don't have to waste any of that sauce. Okay, I'm just giving my hand a little rinse. Perfect. Okay, so now my veggies and my tomato sauce are in this saute pan, and I'm just going to give it a really good stir. I want to get all of this mixed in there. Okay, perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spinach. Are you guys using spinach?
Yummy.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take my spinach. I have fresh spinach today. You can use frozen. That's absolutely fine. Either one. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to just dump it right into my saute pan that has my other veggies and the tomato sauce. I'm going to make sure I get all these pieces in there. Okay, and then I'm going to give it another really good stir. And when we put it over the heat, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but does anybody want to shout out if you've seen it? What happens to spinach when you cook it on the stovetop?
I know what happens.
What happens?
Well, when spinach cooks on the stove, it isn't like the way it looks. It looks like excuse me.
Yes, it gets all.
Sorry, I had to. I was holding the
It's
space.
okay, Flo.
Unmuted myself, but anyway, now what was I saying? Oh yeah. So for the spinach, when it comes cooked on when you cook it on a stovetop, you gotta it becomes all welted. Thank you, Mom. Welted.
Exactly.
Wilted. Sorry.
That's the perfect word to use, wilted.
Also, I want to ask, why did you put the tomato sauce with the vegetables?
We're gonna mix the pasta up with it, and we're gonna layer it all together in.
I have never done that before when making bacon.
It's gonna be good, I promise. You'll have to report back and tell me what you think.
That is so awesome.
Okay, this looks pretty good.
Hey.
So then what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna check on my pasta. So I would go ahead and give your pasta a little check. And we want it to be a little bit al dente. And does anybody want to tell me what that means?
What does what mean?
Al dente. Charlotte, do you know what al dente means when we're talking about pasta?
Like the like the al dente meaning like the knife or the spoon?
No, Charlotte. Al dente doesn't mean that.
I don't know what that means.
Soft? Does it mean soft?
Yes, Sarah. Thank
Sauce.
you.
Sauce.
Yay, soft.
It means it's soft, so we can eat it, and it has like a little chew when you eat it. So mine is al dente. Perfect. So
Chewing.
a thumbs up if your pasta is ready. If it's nice and al dente. Okay. If it is, we can go ahead and drain it. If it's not, no rush. We can all join back together in a little bit. But I am going to drain mine. I'm going to be super careful. I'm going to use either oven mitts or some towels, or you can ask somebody to help, right? Because this water is boiling. It's super, super hot. So I'm going to drain it out. I'm just stepping out of the camera for a second, but I'll be back in 1 second.
Karen, what was that first song of the party? I forgot.
Oh, I'll tell you later, Charlotte. Okay?
Okay, I was just wondering.
That's okay. Sure.
I heard you guys had a really fun dance party before.
We did. We did.
Okay, so now my pasta is drained. And now I'm going to take a really big bowl, and I will move you back over here. This is the last time I promise that I'm going to move you guys. So now I'm going to take a really big bowl, Perfect. And I'm gonna take my pasta and put it in the bowl. So I'm gonna grab my oven mitt. I'm gonna use the pasta pot that I use, but I would use a clean bowl that's not super hot. And you can take your pasta and we're gonna throw it back into a new bowl once it's been drained. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna move you guys up a little bit so you can see better. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to take our tomato sauce that has the veggies in it, and we're gonna dump it into this bowl. So now we're gonna put the veggies, the tomato sauce, and the pasta all in one bowl. So I'm gonna grab an oven mitt again. And this can be a little bit messy, so you just want to make sure maybe you get some help with it. Okay. So then I'm going to grab this. Okay. Now I'm just dumping all of my good tomato sauce veggie mixture on top of my pasta in this bowl. Okay, nice. And now I got all these little bits out. I'm gonna put this over here to cool off for a little bit. Make sure my stove is off. Okay, perfect. And then I'm gonna give it a really good stir. So once you have your bowl, you're gonna put your pasta, your sauce, your veggies, and if you guys can see this, it looks and smells so good. So we're gonna mix, mix, mix until everything is all incorporated together. How does this look so far? Good? Awesome. Ooh, Jenna, that looks amazing. Love it. Ooh.
Thank you. I have two sous chefs over here that are helping out.
That's awesome.
Hi.
Hey, Sheridan.
Hi, guys.
Okay. Now what we're gonna do. So now that we have, does everybody have in a new bowl their pasta, tomato sauce, and veggies? Yes. Perfect. Okay.
Right here, Liz.
No?
Right
Yeah, you
here.
got it. Let's see, Karen.
Right here, Liz.
Oh, I love that. That looks so good, Karen. Nice. Okay, next step. Now we're gonna take our ricotta cheese. So I have, it's Lucerne. You can use really any ricotta cheese that you want. Any brand is fine. You could use whole milk, you could use skim milk, anything. And this is 15 ounces or 2 cups if you want to measure it. It's fine, but this whole package is 15 ounces. So I'm going to take my ricotta cheese. I'm going to scoop the whole thing out into the pot. And it looks like really, clumped together and congealed right now, but that's okay. All we need to do is when it gets with the heat, it's going to start to break apart and it's going to get super creamy and delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Mmm. And it smells really good.
I want to give the sound effects this whole time. Ooh.
Oh, looks yum.
So good.
Yes.
I'm Ziti with cheese.
And if you don't eat dairy, you can absolutely leave the ricotta cheese out. Or
Okay.
there are some nice non-dairy brands like Violife.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheridan, are you dairy free?
Gluten free. Gluten free.
Okay. What kind of pasta are you having today?
Rice pasta.
Rice
Rice.
pasta?
Rice pasta.
If you're
Yeah.
okay,
With
if
broccoli.
your guys have food allergies, you can use Kite Hill ricotta cheese.
Kieran, I love the
Kite Hill. Yeah, Kite Hill I use.
You
mostly.
use that, Liz?
Yes.
Most of it I used it.
Love.
Would that be fine to use in the future when I go and make pasta?
Absolutely, Sheridan. You can definitely use the Kite Hill. Absolutely.
Okay, just was asking. That's why I wasn't sure about it. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it tonight. I just want to watch and see what you guys are doing.
Yeah. No, Sheridan, you bring up a really good point that if you ever have an allergy or anything like that, and there's a recipe that you see, you can always even like do a Google search and try to sub out something. So for anything dairy, you know, you guys know the brands. Kite Hill's a great one. Beal is a great one. Yeah, you could use a dairy-free option. And so if you're gluten-free, like Sheridan, you could use like a rice pasta, like she's eating.
I have a question. Will you send the brands of like dairy-free ones?
Absolutely, Sheridan. I would definitely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I will have everybody send out an email to you, or we can stay on after, and I can chat it to you. Yeah. For pasta alternatives, you could use a chickpea pasta. You could use a cauliflower pasta.
I know what I normally do is I normally just try different ones, and so far I think I'm enjoying more of the rice pasta than the other brands that I tried.
Yeah.
I'm using quinoa pasta.
Ooh, Karen, quinoa pasta is also delicious. I like that.
Because some pastas are tricky to find.
Agreed. And texture sometimes is a little different with gluten-free. Okay, does everybody have their pasta mixture with the sauce and veggies and cheese if you use it? All mixed up? Perfect. Ooh, Jenna's showing us hers. That looks amazing. Okay, perfect. Great. So now what we're gonna do, this is the fun part. We're gonna layer our pasta with the mozzarella. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take half of our pasta and we're gonna dump it into our casserole pan that's been covered with this tomato sauce. So I'm using a spoon. You could just dump it in if you want to, but I'm just gonna put half of the amount of pasta that I have in this big bowl into my casserole dish. So we're gonna layer the pasta.
And so it's not too much filled with the whole pasta.
Exactly, Sheridan, exactly. So we're just gonna layer it, and that's what makes the Big Ziti so tasty when we layer it with the cheese and all the other items that you can put in there, is it builds these flavors that are so good. And when we put it in the oven, it gets crispy and melty and ooey and gooey, and it's gonna be delicious. So, okay, I have about half my pasta in here. Now what I'm gonna do is I have some shredded mozzarella. Oh, perfect. I think I see Quinn has some shredded mozzarella in a bowl. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our mozzarella and we're gonna sprinkle it all over the top of this pasta. And if you wanna use dairy-free alternative, you can, or if you just don't really like the taste of cheese, you can totally leave this out and just bake the pasta as is without the cheese. So I'm sprinkling about half of the mozzarella that I have onto here. So I'm going to use half of the mozzarella that I have. Perfect. Just all over. Okay. Are we good? Next step.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but why do you only use a little bit of cheese? Why don't you use a lot of it?
Well, we could definitely use a lot. Hawkeye, if you love cheese, you can use a lot.
And also, I wanted to ask.
Because we're going to put the other half on top of the rest of the pasta.
Ooh, but I also wanted to ask, why are you using two types of cheeses? You're using ricotta and you're using mozzarella shredded cheese. What? May I ask why you're doing that?
Absolutely. So when we use two different types of cheese, do you think that mozzarella and ricotta taste a little different, or do you think they taste the same?
They taste different, actually. I've had both.
I think they taste different, so it makes it stand out more, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. See, you guys know. When we use two different types of cheese, it builds these flavors that when they mix all together, it creates a whole new flavor, and it makes it so much more different and exciting. And when we make it for our friends and family, it's going to taste a little bit more special. So it makes it a little bit more interesting, I think, when we use two different types of cheese. Okay, so I did my sprinkle of mozzarella, and now I'm just taking the rest of my pasta, anything that's left over in the big bowl, and I'm putting it on top of this casserole pan. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to dump everything else that's in here on top. Okay, I'm just going to put this in the sink for now. Okay, perfect. And then I'm just gonna kind of smooth it out so it looks even, right? Because when we put things in the oven, it's nice to make them even so that everything bakes at the same temperature and it all bakes together. Perfect. Okay. So now I have this nice and spread out evenly in here. And you can see all these amazing green veggies like popping through. It's gonna add so much good flavor and crunch and all these different qualities to this pasta. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get rid of the spoon. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the rest of my mozzarella and I'm gonna sprinkle that all over the pasta. Just like this. And this cheese will add some nice creaminess to it. It's got some nice calcium, it's got some nice protein. A lot of micronutrients in here. Vitamin D. Okay, perfect. Awesome. And now I have this beautiful pasta dish that's layered with all these yummy flavors. I'm gonna give my hands a quick rinse because the cheese is a little sticky. Okay, what do you guys think? Ready to put it in the oven? Oh yeah, let's see, Christine, let me see yours. That looks beautiful, I love that. Nice. Jenna,
I already ate my pasta. I already ate my pasta way ahead of you guys.
Wow.
And I can't wait to eat mine. Ellie, that looks beautiful. I love that.
I can tell you're a master, Liz, because that is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I know it's not in the oven yet.
So good, Kieran. That looks amazing.
It's kind of like lasagna since you put it in the oven.
Exactly, Sarah. It's kind of like a lasagna.
Lasagna.
And we layer it too, just like a lasagna.
Really
Me and my
good.
mom and my mom bake together, but we don't bake. Well, for cooking classes, I like to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And then do it with her when I first get the hang of it.
Exactly. I like that idea, Sharon. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pasta, my casserole dish, and I'm going to pop it in the oven. And we're going to leave it in the oven. We'll leave it in there for 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, at the end of class, we'll check back and we'll see if it's ready to eat. And we'll know it's ready to eat when it's like bubbly and all the cheese is melted. It's gonna be so good. So let's put it in the oven. And we'll make some other fun things in the meantime. So I'm gonna put mine on the middle shelf and I'm not gonna cover it. Sarah, usually when we make a lasagna, I do like to cover it, but for this one, we can just leave it uncovered. Okay.
I love lasagna and pasta.
You love lasagna and pasta? Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Pasta is definitely my favorite food. Okay.
Mine's in the oven.
Woo, it's in the oven? Nice. Okay.
Foods we're making.
Okay, ready for the next activity?
Yes. What's the next activity?
Uh-oh, I put my timer on 20 seconds instead.
I bet.
Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect.
Silly you.
Right? 20 seconds, not 20 minutes. Oh.
Don't worry, Liz. It's all part of the plan, more or less.
Exactly. Okay, so now what we're gonna do,
Yes.
we're gonna make apple nachos.
Apple nachos. I never made them. Can you tell me what to do?
I've had nachos before.
Except I make chocolate banana quesadillas with peanut butter, but that's different.
Sheridan, that sounds amazing.
But that's different.
That's a little bit different, but that's also a delicious treat. Okay.
Almost the same, but different. I have my toppings here. This, and peanut butter, and lemon.
Perfect. Okay, so I also have peanut butter. What's that made good bag?
And these are cookies, and I'm going to sprinkle the cookies on top.
I love that idea. Okay, so for this, I have a cutting board. I need to grab a knife. Yes, knife. And I have
Can I show them the technique in case they want like?
Yeah, Sheridan, I was just gonna say maybe you can demonstrate the bear claw again. This is a good opportunity to show that again. Go ahead.
But with the apple, or you want me just to show them with the knife?
Whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Okay, just asking because I have the apple right here. Okay, bear claw meaning holding it here,
and sawing back and forth.
Exactly. That's
So you
perfect.
don't can I do it this way? Because I feel more
Like
comfortable doing
this?
it this way. Face down. The apple face down. That's how Kelly showed me how to do an apple.
Yes, I like that idea. So Sheridan, I'm going to show you another trick that I think might be helpful. So we're going to cut the apple in half, right? We're going to be super careful with our fingers. And I know that the core is in there, but when we cut it in half like this, then we can take the half and now we have a flat surface. So when we use our knife to cut, it won't move around as much. And then it's going to make it a lot easier. So we don't get our, we don't want to get our fingers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can I do it now? Can I show them on the rest of this?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay.
And we're just going to cut our apple into little
sawing it back and forth, back and forth.
Exactly.
Like this.
Exactly. Just like that. That's perfect, Sheridan. Good job.
I'm already a pro at this because I took cooking classes.
So fun. And just like Sheridan is so comfortable showing us how to do this, the more you get in the kitchen and the more you practice,
the more you get better, the more you'll be good at it.
And the more confident you're going to be, and you're going to want to show your friends how to do it and show your family how to do it. It's going to be great. And thanks
me for showing you guys the trick.
Yes, exactly, Sheridan. Somebody taught you the trick, and now you're teaching somebody else the trick.
How thin does the apple have to be?
You can do whatever you like. We're gonna arrange it really nice, like really pretty on the plate, but I would say pretty thin. I'm cutting mine into slices like this thick. So they're pretty thin.
I know. I can't get this because it keeps freaking sliding and I'm getting me annoyed.
Oh, Sheridan, that's okay. When we get annoyed, what do we like to, I don't know about you, but this is what I like to do when I get annoyed. I go like this. I practice my meditation and I close my eyes and I take a deep breath and I just relax for a second.
Okay.
Myself, hey, you know what? It's okay.
My mom got the wrong cutting board. That's why.
Oh, that's right. Sometimes things happen. But if we just take a deep breath, find that it helps just relax a little bit, and then we can just pick up again and try it over again. See? Yeah. So I'm just
I know how to do all the recipes most of the recipes that you guys show showing tonight. Most of them, because I do it in cooking. Yes, ooh. I am an expert. How do you get the seeds out?
Okay, so I'm going to show you. So I have one here that has some seeds, right? So I'm going to put it down on the cutting board, and then I'm just going to use my bear claw, and I'm just going to cut that little piece out. All you have to do is just cut it out.
Already.
Perfect. And then we're just going to throw that out. Okay, so now I have my apple slices. They're all in these little cute slices. And I have this garbage over here that I'm going to throw out. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our apple slices. Everybody good with the apple? Are we ready to move on to the next step?
Well, 1 second. I need 1 second, please.
I'm almost done. And when you said things happen, whenever it does happen, I'm like, it's all part of the plan. More
exactly, Karen, it is. And you know what? If you need a few more minutes, what's the rush? You know, we're here just for fun.
Okay, I'm good now.
Perfect. It should be a fun and exciting thing. Doesn't have to be stressful, or doesn't have to make you nervous. We just have to reset and then we can keep going. Perfect. Yep, see, exactly, Sheridan, just like that. I like that. Good job. And
I get nervous easily.
That's okay. I do too. Okay.
Something we both need to work on.
Exactly. That's a lifelong thing to work on. Exactly. Everybody gets nervous. That's okay. So now I have my apple in these slices, and I just put them in a bowl. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take, if you guys have a lemon, go ahead and cut it in half. Or I have this, it's just like lemon juice that comes already in like a bottle. And I'm going to put just about 1/2 of a lemon squeezed over my apples. Or if you have this, you could probably use like a teaspoon, I would say, of lemon. And the great thing about adding lemon to sliced apples that we're going to eat not right away is that it helps prevent the apples from oxidizing. Has anyone ever noticed something that happens to apples if we don't eat them right away?
They get brown.
Exactly. They get brown.
It's frozen.
They oxidize. And it doesn't do anything bad to you. So it's okay if you eat it. It's okay if you eat it like that. But it just doesn't really look that pleasant, right? So we put the lemon juice on here to help them prevent from oxidizing.
Is this good, this size?
That looks perfect, Sheridan. Yes. Perfect.
I kind of cut it wrong, but okay. It's okay.
No, there's no wrong way to do this. That's the good part about this.
Squeeze lemon all over it.
Yes, squeeze the lemon all over it and then mix them up. And you can either mix them with like a spoon or you can just use your hands the way I use my hands.
I'm just using my hands. I don't care for getting messy.
Yeah.
The apples. Apple. What is it called? No, it's not for you. Stop it, Daddy. My dad was joking with me that he thinks this dessert was for him, and I said, not for him. I'll make it next time for you, Daddy, once I get better at it. Oops, and I just squirt juice everywhere.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our apple on a plate and we're gonna arrange them in any pattern that you want. One that looks pretty to you.
Okay.
So I'm just arranging them so that all of their little ends kind of like point together in the middle. So I think it looks pretty, but whatever you think looks pretty.
Here's my pattern for inspiration.
Well, let's see. Karen, that looks beautiful.
It looks like a flower.
It looks just like a flower. I love that. That looks beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to copy Kieran and I'm going to put some apples in the middle of mine and it's going to look like the center of a flower.
Glad you like it, Liz.
Yeah, I love it. And then these will be like the petals of the flower. Pretty. I like that idea. Okay, great. So now I have my apples on my plate. And now this is the fun part. This is the creative part. This is whatever you guys are in the mood to eat, you can put it on your apples. So I am going to use today some peanut butter.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, peanut butter, nice. You could use Nutella.
How much peanut butter do we need?
Sheridan, I would say maybe like a tablespoon.
Oh, wait.
Maybe like a small spoonful. Perfect. Use that.
What size? The tablespoon, right?
I would use the big one. Yeah.
Big one? Okay. You said fill it all the way to the top?
Yes.
I'm a professional at this. Look at me.
I love it. You got all your tools and everything. Okay, so I'm going to take my peanut butter and I'm just going to like drizzle it across my apples like this.
Whoa, I put too much.
Perfect. So I'm just drizzling it across just like this.
What is this going to do? Make it taste better?
Exactly, Sheridan. It's going to make it delicious.
This is my dessert. This is my dessert tonight.
Exactly. It's going to be a beautiful dessert. And since we put the lemon on there, it won't turn brown.
Really?
In the fridge too, if you want.
I know, yeah. I'm going to eat it right away, though.
Yeah.
So.
It's a yummy, healthy, delicious dessert snack.
A midnight snack.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. So now I have my peanut butter. And you can go ahead and add any other toppings that you want.
A bit more.
Sprinkle some coconut on top of mine.
Me too.
Yeah, I love coconut. So I'm going to sprinkle some of that. And if you want to make it like colorful, you could do some rainbow sprinkles. I'm putting a little bit of
Or cookies. Or cookies
like Sheridan's doing. You could do some chocolate chips.
I'm going to mash this. Hold on 1 second. My technique with cutting is not really good, so I'm just mashing this. Oh, it already is crumbs. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. I think those are my toppings for today. Does anybody want to show us your nachos?
1 second, I'm not done yet.
Let's see. This looks awesome.
I have to use the masher to break him.
Perfect.
And a little bit of coconut.
Other toppings that you could use?
Raisins.
Raisins. Ooh, Janet has are those M&Ms?
Is
M&M.
that a cute dog in the background?
Say that again.
The background,
Saying
right?
in the future when we make it, Mom, next time.
That's a cute dog in the background, right?
Perfect.
I've got some apple butter on mine.
Yeah, Kieran,
Right,
let's
Kieran?
us.
Ready?
Playing.
Yeah, I'm ready.
That's cute, right?
Can you see it?
Honey is a good one to put.
Yes, Sarah, I like that idea. Honey's a perfect one to put on there.
Yeah.
You can put cinnamon on top of the honey. That
Right
might be
here,
nice.
Lizzie.
And that's a good idea. That's a
Right
good
here,
idea.
I
Lizzie.
love that.
You just
Everyone's
gave me that good idea.
Wow.
Just gave me that good idea of doing
Ooh,
cinnamon.
Noelle,
with a
that
spoon.
looks so pretty. I love that.
Wait, Liz. Yes, Lizzie. That mine. There's mine.
Kieran, I
Remember
love
Rob
that.
from the Freedom Team who was on Team Stripes?
Thanks, Lizzie.
Kieran, what are those?
Yeah,
Like,
that looks amazing.
Look, do you like mine?
Those are peanut butter cookies.
peanut
That
butter.
looks awesome, dude.
They're almond
Look, do
butter
you like
cookies,
mine?
Lizzie.
Liz, look,
These,
this is mine.
these,
Kieran, that looks
ex-
What,
beautiful.
Karen?
Okay,
What time
So,
does this? What time does this go until?
to the side for now. And
I'll put it in the fridge.
What time's this over, Karen?
or put it in the fridge.
it's soon. Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to grab my ingredients that we need for the last.
I'm gonna get a picture of this.
Yeah, Sharon, please take a picture of it. That way you can take
Hold it up so I can take a picture.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. So now we're going to do
Mommy?
the last activity. I'm gonna move this
Okay.
I'll be back.
Has anybody, raise your hand if you have, has anybody made overnight oats?
Me?
Look
No, with one more dish.
Sheridan
Can I
has.
explain how to do it? Because I'm really good at explaining over oats to people. What over oats is you let it sit in the fridge overnight, and the next morning you have a nice tasty, what is it called? Blah, 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 I can't speak. Tasty oatmeal
Oatmeal. Exactly.
for the morning.
That's something you could have for breakfast the next day.
Okay. So now we're almost done. And
Having
once
it.
we finish this one, we can all chat and we can tease our pasta and our nachos and everything all together. But okay. So like Sheridan said, overnight oats is a great thing to make. You can make it the night before. So I think it would be fun. We make this together now, and then we can put it in the fridge, and maybe tomorrow morning.
Have
wake
it for
up,
breakfast.
exactly.
Or lunch.
Lunch and go in the fridge and look at your overnight oats and try it and see what you think. And you can always add toppings to it if you want to add maybe some fresh fruits or anything, granola, anything like that. So what we're going to need for this one is a mason jar or a Tupperware that has a lid. That's fine too. So I have my mason jar. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a half a cup of oats, and we want to use quick oats. So we want to use oats that you
It's good. This is gluten-free oats.
Perfect. Great. So we'll use that. So I'm going to dump my oats into this mason jar.
Try to do it very carefully.
Yes. And it's okay if some spills out. Okay. Then we're going to take half a cup of any liquid that you like. So you could use water.
Almond milk.
Yep. I have almond milk, or you could use regular milk, anything that you want. So oat milk, soy milk, whatever you like. So then I'm going to take my almond milk, half a cup, and I'm going to pour it in my mason jar. Okay.
I'm kind of messy here.
Okay. And then I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of honey or maple syrup just to give it a little bit of sweetness. And if you don't really like it that sweet, you don't have to put it in. You can leave it out.
You said honey, right?
Yeah, honey or maple syrup, either one. Just a teaspoon. So like maybe one of the smaller ones on the
What?
measuring cup.
4? Okay, I'm just gonna squeeze it.
Yeah. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is it's totally up to you to add any topping. So I'm gonna put a few shakes. Uh-oh, it's going everywhere. Of cinnamon in here. And then I'm gonna put a tiny bit of vanilla extract. And you could put peanut butter, you could put chia seeds, you could put flax seeds, anything that you want to add in there. Please feel free to go ahead.
I have a question. Chia seeds go in after the cinnamon, correct?
Yes, that's fine. Okay, now I'm going to put my lid on top.
And then my milk, right? And then my almond milk?
Yes, please, Sheridan. Yes. Okay. Then once all of my ingredients are in here, I'm going to give it a really good shake.
She said to add it, Mom.
I'm going to shake it all up. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge, and that's it. And then tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to go down to the fridge, and I'm going to see what it looks like, and it's going to get like a little expanded, and it's going to get a little texture is going to change a little bit. And it's going to be super delicious. And then you can add any toppings. You could add blueberries or raspberries or bananas or some peanut butter if you want. Anything that you want to add, you definitely can. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so our pasta now has been in there for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to take it out and show you. And I think your pasta will probably be ready too. I just want to show you. It smells really good, but I just want to show you what it looks like so you guys know what it looks like when it's done. So I'm going to put my oven mitts on because it's been in there for a while. It's going to be hot. Oh, yes. Okay. Here we go.
Where is it?
Baked ziti. Just out of the oven. It smells really good. And you guys can, I hope you guys can see that it got a little bit brown on the top from cooking in the oven. And the cheese is nice and melty. And the veggies look like they're perfectly cooked. So if your pasta looks like it's ready, I would give it a few minutes to cool down because we don't want to burn our mouths because it's super hot because it just came out. And once you give it a few minutes to cool down, you could take a little taste or you can just blow on it really well if you want to taste it right now.
Looks good.
And that's our baked pasta.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Liz.
And our oats.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Liz.
thank you for the apple idea too. I'm gonna send it to my cooking teacher.
Good.
Oh, that was awesome. Thanks so
That was
much.
awesome. You're the best.
Thank you.
Here's mine, Liz.
Let's see, Karen.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that looks
Thank
awesome.
you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We love you.
Achilles
Thank you,
pasta.
Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
So
Thank
fun.
you.
Oh, wonderful. Liz, we cannot thank you enough for this awesome cooking class.
Be with you
Yes.
guys today. This was really fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Liz, we
Bye,
hope
everyone.
you'll join us again. This was
I
a
would
hit.
love to anytime. You guys let me know.
Karen, what was the first song at the dance party?
See you guys soon. Love you all. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank you. We'll see you next time. Don't forget, March 30th, we have a dance party, and I believe we're going to do a
Jenna.
morning meditation
Ooh, I'm in.
Not 30.
Oh, I'm in.
on 2 Mondays from now. So
Two
stay
Mondays?
tuned,
Okay.
everyone. Stay
All
tuned,
right.
everyone. You'll get updates
Thanks,
from Janet
Liz
and
and
Karen.
Jenna.
Thanks.
See you guys
Thank
soon.
you,
What
Liz.
was the first song at
Until
the
then,
dance
go
party?
Achilles. Go